This is the Lambert Bridge Winery. Actually, this is the Lambert Bridge Winery truck parked out in front. It's a beautiful winery up in the Dry Creek Valley. Very picturesque. It's up on the western hills. You can see the picnic area there in the distance. It's got one of the nicest picnic areas in the area, in the Dry Creek area, especially during the cooler weather, because the picnic tables are out in the sun. It gets beautiful exposure. Up on the hill is the owner's house. And then our truck, and then you can see the front of the winery. Right, this time of year all filled with wisteria. They make extremely good wine. For such a small winery, they have 3 winemakers. The owner is actually one of the co-owners of the, or one of the owners of the New York Nets, and he really likes to have his people make good wine, and I have to tell you that some of their wines are as good as the best of Napa. Lambert Bridge is only about 10 minutes from downtown Healdsburg on the West Dry Creek Road, and definitely worth a visit if you're in the area. And this is the Lambert Bridge Winery on the inside. Really beautiful tasting room. Very fun tasting room. Nice gift shop. Oh, and this is very neat. Their Gus Gusteau is on the cover of the new Wine Dogs book. Isn't that thoroughly cool? I remember the last edition when the Kellum's dog was on that. And there's their barrel room through the glass. And their reserve tasting is on the other side of the glass. Yeah, Lambert Bridge, there's not a lot, you know, not to like.
There he is.
Okay. Here comes a limo pulling up at Lambert Bridge. Ubiquitous limos. I'm sitting here in the Navigator, our Amici Tours winery Navigator, and I'm just thinking about the tour we did today, which was actually a lot of fun. We started off at Armida in the southern edge of the Dry Creek Valley. We did a very long tasting there because my clients were friends with the owner. And so we were there about an hour and a half. They tasted everything in the house. Drank a lot of wine. We probably would have been there longer, except after we'd been there about 45 minutes, a van showed up in the front with 11 girls on a bachelorette party, which pretty much filled the place up and did help us move along. But it still was an hour and a half while we were there. We got on the road, we headed up the Dry Creek Valley all the way to the very top, practically, to Ferrari Carano, which is one of the jewels, of course, of the Dry Creek Valley. And it was the Circle of Friends Day, which is a day which club members come by. But that was a lot of fun. People were there, once again, about almost an hour and a half before we got going. Then we went down to the Dry Creek Market and picked up sandwiches. This was a little tactical error. On the way up there, the Dry Creek Market was not busy as we passed it going north. We should have stopped then and there and gotten our food. As it was, we got back there about 1:30 and everyone was there, and it took quite a while to get the food, which I should have known better. Then we went over to the Lambert Bridge Winery. I was going to stop by Pasalacqua, which is a fantastic winery, but it's a little cool today, and on a cool day I like Lambert Bridge because the tables are out in the sun. They went by there, they had a great picnic at Lambert Bridge, went inside. Dean, the tasting room manager, was there. I hooked him up. It turns out that both he and my client had birthdays just about now, and this was my client's birthday gift from his wife, and they had a great time. They tasted everything. the whole family really enjoyed themselves. And then I thought we'd be finished at that point. The 3 wineries isn't a lot, but they had tasted a lot at each winery. And they said, no, let's go one more place. So we came over to Truetthurst, which is a relatively new winery, only opened about a year and a half. And they're tasting in the barn right now because they're fixing they're redoing their tasting room. They're doing a renovation. It's really quite nice. And so right now they're tasting in there. And I think from here we'll probably head back down south to their hotel. Then we might hop over the valley, over the hills, over to the Alexander Valley and cut down through there so they can see it. And maybe we'll stop at another winery, who knows. One never knows when you're out wine tasting.